Only 1 week remains for Arkansas's early voting period. What to know about the 4 ballot issues before heading to the polls.
And one Fayetteville resident struggles with a security breach.
A feeling of isolation is good unless you find out that you have been violated.
Up next, how an unexpected visitor disturbed her peaceful vacation home.
Most people see a doctor for help, not harm. How a pathologist's negligence cost a large sum of money and a patient's life. Coming up on UATV.
Welcome to this Tuesday night edition of UATV. I'm Camryn Johnson.
And I'm Beau Russell. Thanks for joining us.
Today marks 1 week until midterm elections, but many Arkansas voters already made their way to the polls. So far, over 140,000 Arkansans participated in early voting. The early voting period will continue on until next Monday. You can find a list of voting locations in Fayetteville on UATVnews.com. And as part of the midterm ballot, Arkansas residents will decide on 4 important issues. Issue 1 will determine whether or not to give state lawmakers the authority to call special sessions. Currently, this power belongs solely to the governor. Some supporters of this amendment believe the governor possesses too much power, while opponents think the governor's power should remain the same.
Yeah, the second issue on the ballot concerns voter approval. Issue 2 will require 60% of voter approval in order for a law to pass. Now, currently, the law states that a simple majority of votes can put an issue into effect, commonly referred to as 50% plus 1. Some supporters of this amendment believe it would help make laws harder to pass, while opponents claim it takes away the power of the people. But moving on to issue 3, which addresses religious freedom. Now, if passed, this amendment will provide stricter limits on government interference in religion, as opposed to those already in place, like the First and 14th Amendments. Some voters believe this addition will not change much.
And I reviewed the Arkansas Constitution, and I really believe that our freedom of religion is protected by the Arkansas State Constitution. So I'm not sure why a change to it would be necessary.
Those in favor of the amendment instead argue it would prevent the court from, quote, undermining and reinterpreting the First Amendment.
And the final issue on the Arkansas ballot addresses legalizing recreational marijuana use. Take a look at this short video to see what all issue 4 entails.
With midterms coming up, Arkansans will directly vote on 4 ballot measures. Issue 4, if passed, will legalize recreational marijuana. North Dakota, South Dakota, Maryland, Missouri, and Arkansas are the 5 states potentially legalizing marijuana this year. Lobbying group Responsible Growth Arkansas successfully petitioned for the ballot measure. Issue 4 will allow anyone over the age of 21 to own a maximum 1 ounce of marijuana for non-medicinal purposes. Cannabis extraction manager for Dark Horse Medicinals, Sean Stokes, says legalizing marijuana will have great social impact on Arkansas.
This is one less tool in the arsenal to oppress people who are poor and people who are minorities right now, because minor possession of cannabis disproportionately puts away people who do not have money to fight back and who are minorities right now.
President Biden's recent marijuana pardons and urges to state lawmakers could give the effort more momentum. Medical marijuana businesses in Arkansas made $205 million this year. Sean Stokes says Arkansans' attitudes towards marijuana indicate that issue 4 will see success.
The fact that statewide, marijuana seems to have a more common acceptance than it does alcohol is really kind of inspiring. So I think that the possibility of legalization this year is very strong.
The popularity of marijuana in Arkansas will be tested in this upcoming election cycle. Arkansas can vote in the upcoming midterms on November 8th. Reporting for UATV, I'm Sarah Wittenberg.
You can find more information about all 4 of these issues on UATVnews.com and on Instagram at UATVnews.
Among the many issues discussed on the ballot, Arkansas voters will also decide on a new governor. This year's governor candidates are, this year's Governor Hutchinson, the current governor, his term has reached its conclusion. Now, Arkansans, I am all over my words, can vote for Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Chris Jones, or Ricky Dale Harrington Jr. Chris Jones stresses for younger voters they need to bring their friends to the polls.
You all have to go get each other, because at the end of the day, the person you trust is your peer. The person you trust is your classmate. The person you trust is your roommate.
You can go to UATVnews.com for more information on the three candidates running for governor.
The Supreme Court of the United States dealt with 2 cases concerning affirmative action in colleges. The cases revolve around Harvard and the University of North Carolina's race-conscious admissions processes. A decision against affirmative action would overturn their 2016 ruling on the matter. This reconsideration of affirmative action follows the court's recent overturning of other landmark decisions.
A Fayetteville resident discovered last week that a man had been lurking around and stealing from her home on Beaver Lake. UATV's Reagan Hubbard sat down with the homeowner to hear her story.
A longtime Fayetteville resident was disturbed, to say the least, when she became aware that her peaceful getaway on Beaver Lake had been stolen from for a second time.
I had 6 cameras installed around the house that would record motion around the doors, around the driveways, around the basement storage area where this second theft occurred.
When Donita realized the app for her security cameras were not working, a worker for the security company visited the house and informed her that the cameras had been tampered with. He was able to retrieve the SD card and shared the footage with Donita.
When someone is creeping around your place, when you're not there, looking into what they can steal, it takes a lot of your tranquility away.
Donita has filed a police report with the Benton County Police Department for theft, but she says, unfortunately, this incident has hindered the safety she used to feel at her family's vacation home.
A feeling of isolation is good unless you find out that you have been violated and your isolation is no longer sacred.
Donita encourages other residents to invest in proper security, especially in isolated areas like Beaver Lake. Reporting for UATV, I'm Reagan Hubbard.
Thanks so much, Reagan. Now, Donita has upgraded her security after the theft and says that the investigation is still ongoing.
A federal judge ordered the Veterans Administration to pay over $4 million in a lawsuit over a patient that got misdiagnosed by a former doctor. Robert Levy, a pathologist at the VA in 2012, misdiagnosed a patient's prostate and bone cancer as benign. The patient's cancer went untreated for 6 years. The VA fired Levy in 2018 for being impaired on the job and stated they found him responsible for the deaths of 3 patients.
The University of Arkansas is now offering payroll deductions. Appointed faculty can take advantage and save money through academic discounts on Dell and Apple products online and at the tech store. Faculty and staff can make interest-free payments on personal purchases up to $3,000.
Fallen into Fall Fest with university programs. How one group on campus is giving everyone pumpkin to talk about.
And one organization on campus looks to contribute to a cause. I'll tell you how you can learn about the Full Circle Food Pantry coming up next.
The university is calling all hogs home. U of A celebrates 100 years of homecoming this week. Celebrations around Fayetteville take place as alumni make their way back to campus. From pomping to the homecoming parade, traditions run deep on the Hill. One student who grew up calling the hogs looks forward to this week every year. And now as a student, these events mean even more.
It really shows like us coming together and supporting Arkansas and supporting the Razorbacks.
Former and current Razorbacks can cheer on the Hogs this Saturday at the homecoming game.
And University Programs presents Fall Fest. Students can recharge with cookies, hot chocolate, and games at the Union Mall. University Programs also puts on similar events in the spring. University Programs believes the student community provides something unique to the university.
With everything University Programs does, we're really just trying to make a community within the school. And so whether it's bringing people together by doing crafts together or, watching your friends on the mechanical bull, things like that.
Visit UP Arkansas on Instagram.
Now, one campus organization celebrates homecoming a little bit differently than the rest. UATV's Elena Thompson gives us more.
Thanks, Beau. The Full Circle Food Pantry is kicking off their 6th annual Pack the Pantry event in honor of homecoming. This Pack the Pantry is especially important because they are serving a record number of over 1,200 individuals per month. The most needed items at the pantry are non-perishables, specifically canned fruit, canned meat, rice, and beans. Hygienic products like laundry detergent, toothpaste, and shampoo are also accepted and appreciated. The chair of the pantry, Annette Quinn, says Pack the Pantry is designed with one goal in mind, to make sure clients get what they need.
We are just trying to get as much food into the pantry as possible because, as I said, this keeps us stocked for most of the year. Whenever we don't have certain food items, we either just have to go without them and tell clients, sorry, we don't have them, or we have to purchase them with our own money from the food bank.
You can make physical donations inside each residence hall, Mullins Library, the Arkansas Union, and many other locations around campus. For UATV, I'm Elena Thompson.
Thanks so much, Elena. Those looking for the food pantry can find it next to Bud Walton Hall, right behind the Union Garage. Don't take the bait. Phishing attacks continue to hit student emails. What steps the university takes to prevent you from getting hooked?
One university event returns to campus next week. Find out what 3 cups of coffee can get you right now on UATV.
IT services will send randomized spam and phishing emails to students twice this semester to increase cybersecurity awareness. UATV's Charlie Holder brings us more.
October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and spam email has found its way into UARK students' inboxes. Emails from random sites might be in your Outlook account. Beware the URLs attached in them, because they could lead to a scam. Senior Specialist Governance, Risk and Compliance Ruth Parcells says some of these emails could lead to identity theft.
Phishing can harm students by, if they provide their personal information, it could lead to identity theft. If they provide their credentials, it could lead to an account compromise.
Spam emails can be found in anyone's email. University of Arkansas grad student Lane Edwards says he gets tons of spam in his UARK inbox.
Well, one that I got the other day was one claiming that my taxes were filed under them and they wanted to send me a copy. And to do that, I would have to click on this URL where they would reroute me to a new page and ask for all sorts of information.
Phishing is found in formats varying from text messages, QR codes, phone calls, and web browsers. Parcells says that they will provide training even after Cybersecurity Month is over.
You have games you can play to see what is a phish and what is not. And we also do email campaigns that go out randomly to student, faculty, and staff. And if they click it, it'll say, this is a training campaign, this was a phishing attempt.
Phishing attacks share one common goal: manipulating people into giving their personal information.
Make sure to use the report message button in Outlook if you receive a phishing email.
The U of A United Way campaign closes soon and challenge winners remain up in the air. The University of Arkansas partnered with United Way to support programs that benefit kids in the NWA region. The campaign hopes to raise $100,000 for the second straight year. The college with the highest percentage of employees making donations will receive an award.
Food on the Hill's coffee crawl returns to campus. Next week, students can purchase a coffee at least 3 of the crawl locations to win a mug. Locations include both Hill Coffee locations and both Starbucks locations on campus. Students can enter to win a free coffee essentials basket after visiting all 4 locations. JJ's Live Taylor's version takes place this Friday.
Fans who know Taylor all too well come together to celebrate the 1989 album anniversary with a dance party.
Yeah, doors open at 8 p.m. Friday, and fans 18 and older may purchase tickets online now. Now, I'm not the biggest Taylor Swift fan myself, but I know you are.
I am. I was actually sitting on my computer earlier trying to figure out how to book tickets for her newly announced tour. So you and I differ a little bit.
Well, that's all the time we have for UATV. I'm Beau Russell.
And I'm Camryn Johnson. Be sure to follow us on social media at UATV News. Have a great night.